So to start off, why should we build relationships? Why does this even matter? And really, if you think about any role that you will have in the future, or anything that you're doing today, you're always going to do something as part of a team or with other people. So if you're a freelancer, you're going to work with a client. If you're an employee, you have a manager, you have a team, and you might have people that work under you. And so everything is going to be done with and through other people. So if you know how to build great relationships, then you can do that better. And so why should you network? Because why should you build relationships? Because you're always going to be working with people, and you're always going to have to build relationships. So how do you build relationships? And the key is to lead with generosity. And this is something that Adam Grant, who's a professor actually at Wharton, that brings forward the whole concept of give and take and lead by giving. And Keith Ferrazzi also has that same statement of lead with generosity. So definitely recommend reading those books by Adam Grant on give and take, and by Keith Ferrazzi on Never Eat Alone and Who's Got Your Back. But talk in more detail about this concept of lead with generosity. But just as an example, the idea of leading with generosity is when you first meet someone, your goal and the only thing you're thinking about is how can I help that person? What questions do I have? What challenges do they have? And just kind of learn about those challenges. And you see, and you're kind of thinking, can I brainstorm with this person to think about a solution? And do I have experience that's relevant to this person that's going to help them solve that problem? Or are there people I know that can better direct them and help them out? So I can give you a great example. So a couple of years ago, a friend of a friend was moving to New York, and I got introduced to her. She wanted to meet people in New York City. She's never been there, and she wanted to look for a job. And I met up with her because I was introduced to her, and I, then said, okay, cool. I thought she was brilliant, so I introduced her to a couple of friends, and I introduced her to a couple of companies to help her kind of get started when she moves to when she's moving to a new city, and that worked out very well. But then after 2 years, we didn't speak as much. Then after 2 years, she kind of is now looking for a new job, and we meet up again. At that time, we were actually hiring for the specific role that she has experience in. And it was a lot easier for us to convince her to join the company. It was a lot easier for us to convince her to join the company, given that we had built a relationship and had been helpful early on. And so that saved us a lot of time and energy and search costs, able to find someone who fit in really well culturally, we had already met with, and we had a lot of experience we had already seen her on multiple occasions. So that's an example of how that helps. But I do want to qualify that with, whenever you lead with generosity, you don't want to think that I am helping this person because in the future I expect them to pay me back or expect them to help me. That kind of will be very demoralizing, because most of the time it's not kind of like I help this person out and then after 2 weeks he's going to help me out. It's more like I'm helping them because I want to and I enjoy helping them. So it's a very different perspective that you should have when you help out other people.